Hello and welcome to my kitchen. Today I've brought the garden into the kitchen to show you how to make a lemon myrtle infused olive oil. It's quite simple. Here we go. First thing you'll need to make your lemon myrtle infused oil is obviously some lemon myrtle. These are prunings that I've taken from my lemon myrtle, and some of them I turned into cuttings and used them in propagation, and the rest I'm going to use here in the kitchen. I've also got a mortar and pestle for crushing or bruising the leaves. Now you can use your hands if you don't have a mortar and pestle, they will work just as well. I have a funnel to put the oil into my container. I have a good quality extra virgin olive oil. I like to choose a completely Australian brand, but that's up to you. I've got a container. I like to use these old maple syrup bottles because I think they look really pretty. This one is 250 ml, and so that I can measure out how many leaves I need accurately, I've got a half cup measure here, which is 125 ml, because we're going to need half of this bottle filled with leaves and half filled with oil. I've also got a tea towel. You could use paper towels if you want to, because we need to dry off the leaves before we crush them or bruise them. First thing we need to do is take the lemon myrtle and give it a good wash. I've already given these a bit of a wash, but I'll give them another bit of a wash. I always do it in a colander so that anything I wash off gets stuck in the colander rather than going down the drain and clogging up the drain. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some leaves. Little, big, doesn't matter. Lemon myrtle is an amazing plant to use in the kitchen. It has a really strong lemon flavour. In fact, citral, which is the active ingredient, the levels of citral in lemon myrtle are extremely high. So just to give you an idea, these leaves are 92% citral. Lemongrass is far less than that. In fact, these have 7 times more citral than lemongrass. So they're a much stronger flavouring than lemongrass. So I've got those leaves. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pat them dry. And then I'm going to start the crushing process by popping them into my cup measure. I'm just scrunching it with my hands, popping them into my half cup measure and seeing how much I've got. So you can see that fills about 1/3 of the half cup. So I'm going to need more leaves. You can use lemon myrtle in a lot of different ways. We use it in our afternoon drinks. So sometimes in beer instead of lemon or lime slices. We use it in punches. I often stuff roast chicken with lemon myrtle leaves before I cook it, which is really yummy. You get that lemon flavour going through. The leaves are also fantastic if you take just a couple and use them instead of bay leaves in a lot of cooking. And if you can get some of the dried lemon myrtle or dry some yourself, they are great for popping into tuna bakes and tuna slices and things like that. Flavours go really well with chicken and with lots of different types of fish. Really versatile herb. The Aborigines used it in a lot of medicinal ways apparently. It's supposed to be really good for chewing when you have a cough or a cold, and I must admit I've had lemon myrtle tea when I've had a cough or a cold. There we are, we're about half full. Now because I'm using this for oil, I'm just getting the juiciest looking leaves I can. The leaves that are damaged by bugs or that are not quite as juicy, I will dry and make my own lemon myrtle powder, which, if you've looked at the price of it in the shop, it's well worth making yourself. It doesn't take much, you just hang them up. And the beauty is, if you hang them up somewhere like the back patio, you get a beautiful aroma of lemon that fills the area as well. They're a great air freshener. You can use it in cleaning products. Really great stuff. I'm getting full now. It's really hard to see when it's full, obviously, because it's doesn't just pour in like flour or sugar. Now there's a cheesecake recipe that I haven't tried yet, and lemon myrtle cheesecake is supposed to be beautiful. So that's one on my to-do list. Some people pop the fresh leaves, they bruise the fresh leaves and pop them in the top of vanilla or natural yogurt and let it flavour the yogurt, which sounds yummy. I really need to try that. Okay, so that's about a cupful. What I'm going to do now is, you can see I've already crunched them a bit with my hands. I'm going to pop them in to the mortar and pestle. All I want to do is bruise them enough to start those oils releasing. Into the mortar and pestle. You can see I have quite a bit of trouble keeping them in. Very fresh leaves. It's a wonderful plant in the garden too. They really take well to pruning to shape. Well, they do in my garden. And they attract all sorts of pollinators and bugs, and the birds go and sit in them, and the children go and crush the leaves. Fantastic plant. Right, so now that I've given them a bit of a crush, and I can tell you right now, I wish this was smell-o-vision, because this kitchen smells awesome. It just smells like lemon myrtle. Okay, so all I'm going to do is take those leaves, and you can see as I pop them into the maple syrup jar, they are getting further crushed. Obviously, you need to make sure that whatever container you use is well washed and sterilised, just like you do for any other chutneys or preserves that you might make in your kitchen, or other oils that you might infuse. Once this oil is made, and once it's had time to infuse, typically about 2 weeks, but I find if I leave it for about 4 weeks, then you get a really beautiful oil. Then you can use it anywhere that you would use olive oil that you don't mind having a lemon flavouring. So one of the things that my family loves is chicken nuggets. And so I buy fresh chicken breast or tenderloins. I crumb them myself with panko breadcrumbs using the flour egg crumb method. And then I cook them in the lemon myrtle oil, and you get this lovely, really subtle lemon flavour that goes through the chicken nuggets. It's really yummy, very fresh tasting. Okay, we're almost full. You can see that the bottle is filling up. There we go. I'm going to leave this bottle on the tea towel, so I don't need the tea towel again, and that means if I have any overflow of oil, it'll be easy to clear up from the bench. And I might just zoom this in, because I think the oil looks quite delightful as it goes down over the leaves. Here we go. Look at that. Beautiful Australian olive oil slipping down through the bruised leaves, making liquid gold. Just going to slow for a second so that I don't overfill. Oh, there we go, let those air bubbles come up. Just give it a little shake so that if there's any other air bubbles, they come up. There we go. Full. Absolutely full as. And I'm just going to pop back on the lid. So I need to leave this now for at least 2 weeks. I'll probably leave it for 4. And then I'm going to strain off the oil, remove the leaves from the bottle, and put the oil back in the bottle, and bingo, I'm going to have beautiful lemon myrtle infused olive oil to use in my cooking. And I'll use it for chicken or fish dishes or something else that I discover in the meantime, because one of the things I love about working with Australian natives is there's constant surprises along the way. Thanks for watching. I'm going to pop the link to my blog down there in case you want to read any more about lemon myrtle in the kitchen. And until next time, drop me a comment or a question if you have any down below.